You have $10,000 sitting in a savings account right now, and it is quietly losing value every single day. That is the problem. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it, step by step, starting today. Here's something most people never talk about. You could be doing everything right financially and still be falling behind. You are saving money every month, you feel responsible, you feel disciplined, and yet your bank account is barely growing. Sound familiar? That is because saving and building wealth are not the same thing. They never were. I am going to walk you through the exact path that transforms a saver into an investor, without the confusion, without the overwhelm, and without risking everything you have worked hard to build. My name is Jack, and if you have money sitting in savings but feel stuck about what to do next, hit subscribe, because this video is built exactly for you. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody tells you when you open a savings account. Your money is shrinking, not in the obvious way, but inflation is quietly eating away your purchasing power while your bank pays you almost nothing in return. A typical savings account today might earn around 1% annually. Meanwhile, inflation runs higher than that most years. So technically, every year your savings just sit there. You are losing ground. And here's the number that should change how you think about money forever. That same $10,000, invested in a broad market index fund that historically averages around 10% annually, could grow to roughly $67,000 in 20 years. The same starting amount. The difference is simply where the money lives. But wait, before you rush off to open a brokerage account, there is a critical first step that most beginners completely skip, and skipping it is exactly why they panic and lose money. You need a real emergency fund before you invest a single dollar. 3 to 6 months of actual living expenses, sitting in cash, untouched. Not invested, not tied up anywhere. Just available. Because here is what nobody tells you about market crashes. The people who lose the most are not the ones who stayed invested. They are the ones who had no safety net and were forced to sell at the worst possible moment just to cover an unexpected expense. Your emergency fund does not just protect your bank account, it protects your entire investment strategy from falling apart the moment life gets complicated. Now, once that foundation is solid, here's where everything changes. You need to stop thinking of your money as one single pile. Start thinking in two completely separate buckets. Bucket 1 is your safety money. This does not move, does not fluctuate, and is never touched unless an emergency forces it. Bucket 2 is your growth money. This is allowed to move up and down because its entire job is to grow over time. That mental shift alone removes 90% of the anxiety that stops people from ever getting started. Most people are scared of investing because they picture their entire financial life going up and down with the market. But when you clearly separate these two buckets, that fear disappears almost instantly. Here's the part that surprises most people. You do not need thousands of dollars to start investing. Most brokerage platforms today let you begin with as little as $50 or $100. And honestly, starting small is actually better for beginners because it lets you experience real market movement without the emotional weight of massive amounts at stake. The goal in the beginning is not profit. The goal is building the habit of consistent investing, because here's what the math shows clearly. If you invest $300 every single month and the market averages 8% annually, after 25 years, you would have roughly $285,000. But you only put in $90,000 of your own money. The rest, nearly $200,000, came entirely from compound growth. That is not speculation. That is math working silently in your favor over time. Now here's where most beginners make a serious mistake that costs them dearly. They think investing means picking hot stocks, chasing crypto trends, or learning complex trading strategies. That thinking has destroyed more wealth than almost anything else. The simplest strategy consistently outperforms the complicated ones. Index funds track the entire market. Instead of betting on one company, you own tiny pieces of hundreds of companies at once. Warren Buffett himself has publicly recommended low-cost index funds for everyday investors repeatedly. Simple, diversified, long-term. That is it. The most boring strategy often wins. And yes, markets will crash. They always have. But here's the perspective shift that changes everything. When markets drop, your regular monthly investments buy more shares at lower prices. That means when the market eventually recovers, and historically it always has, your portfolio bounces back stronger. Experienced investors do not panic during downturns. They think in decades, not days. That patience is the actual investment. So here's the full path, simplified. Step 1. Build your emergency fund first. Step 2. Mentally separate your safety money from your growth money. Step 3. Open a simple brokerage account and start small. Step 4. Invest consistently every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. Step 5. Keep it simple with broad index funds and give compounding the time it needs to work. Because here's the truth that will stick with you long after this video ends. Saving gives you stability. Investing gives you freedom. And the earlier you start making that transition, the more dramatically your financial future changes. So tell me in the comments right now, are you currently in the saving stage or have you already made the jump into investing? I read every single comment, and I want to know where you are on this journey.